Ranking the top 15 best MCU characters of all time. At number 15, we have Hawkeye. I gotta be honest, I was never that big of a fan of this character. I love Jeremy Renner as an actor, but I always felt like he was kind of just sleepwalking through the Avengers movies. And him having really some of the lamest powers in the entire MCU also does not help add to his character, but you're probably wondering, why is he even in the top 15 then? Basically all thanks to his role in Endgame and his own Hawkeye series. I feel like the character really started thriving in these last two projects. Actually, the Hawkeye show, just getting to see him be this kind of mentor to Kate Bishop, I thought was incredible, and I cannot wait to see more of him hopefully in this mentorship role, even if he's officially retired as Hawkeye. At number 14 is Gamora. She's had one of the weirdest arcs in the entire MCU since she had two Guardians movies, then died in an Avengers movie and came back in the third Guardians, but I think it works perfectly. She's an incredibly interesting character too because of her connections to Thanos. I love her entire backstory. Her relationship with Star-Lord was incredible, but I'm also really happy that they decided not to have them get back together at the end of Guardians 3. Just a great character overall. At number 13 is Black Panther. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. It's truly tragic that we lost him so early. I could not wait to see him in more just other roles in general, and especially more as Black Panther in the MCU. I feel like if we got to see more of him, he could have honestly became a top 5 MCU character for me. It is obviously tragic that we lost Chadwick Boseman, but a part of me kind of wishes they did recast it. I feel like Chadwick would have wanted that, and we would have had a lot more of this character that was going to be the leader of the future of the MCU. At number 12, I have Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man. Paul Rudd is just so funny in every single movie he's in. Him as Ant-Man is no exception, especially when he's with the other characters. Like in Civil War, his introduction is seriously some of the funniest stuff in the MCU. But he also has a genuinely great story with his life of crime behind him and everything, and his entire family. I really like it. Even though Quantumania was a bad movie, he's a great character. 11, Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier himself. I've loved this character ever since Captain America the First Avenger, his relationship and friendship with Cap. Then he goes on to the Winter Soldier and becomes one of the greatest MCU villains we've ever gotten, still to this day. And he's really just been one of the most consistently great supporting characters in the MCU. I'm excited to see what they do with him in the Thunderbolts, even though it seems like it's not going to be a very good movie, but hopefully they give Sebastian Stan some good stuff to work with. 10 is Black Widow. Speaking of amazing supporting characters in the MCU, she has been incredible ever since Iron Man 2. Really wish they gave her a better solo movie because Scarlett Johansson deserves it. She's been incredible as this character for so long, and the movie itself was kind of a letdown, even though I do think she was still good in it. She really elevates every MCU project she's in, like the Winter Soldier, my favorite MCU movie of all time, she's amazing in. And obviously her in all the Avengers films just as incredible. 9, we got Thanos. I mean, come on, he's literally one of the greatest comic book movie villains we've ever got on screen, if not the best. That is a bit of a wild statement. We all know the Joker's the best. To have a CGI creation that is this menacing is so impressive. It all comes down to how good the writing was for this character. Like, everything he said was just an absolute bar and so quotable. See what the MCU does in the future, if they keep King, if they go to Doctor Doom or someone, but it's going to be really hard to top Thanos because he was just so incredibly great in Infinity War and Endgame. At number 8, I have Rocket Raccoon. I gotta give huge props to Bradley Cooper for just going all in 110% on the voice performance here. It is seriously so entertaining. Obviously, he's also one of the funniest MCU characters we've got, but I also love the deeper and more serious moments in Guardians 3, getting to learn about his tragic backstory. It really elevated the character for me. Number 7, another Guardian of the Galaxy. It is Star-Lord. Now, I will never forgive him for punching Thanos in Infinity War. I don't care how you try to justify it, say it's in his character. It was still incredibly stupid. But overall, this is an amazing character. In all the Guardians and Avengers movies, I honestly think this might be Chris Pratt's best role. It's either this or Parks and Recreation. He's just so effortlessly funny and charming as his character, and he has amazing chemistry with all the other Guardians and Avengers he meets. There's another character though that I really did love before, but Guardians 3 just elevated to that next level, and I can't wait to see what his next solo journey is going to be in the MCU. It's going to be crazy. At number 6, I have Wanda. Now, she might have the most annoying fan base in the entire MCU, the Wanda stans. She is still one of the greatest characters in the MCU ever since Age of Ultron and her descent into this villain with WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness. It really just simply comes down to Elizabeth Olsen being an incredible actor and mastering this character. Like, both the villain and hero side she has nailed. Also a sucker for any magic characters, and her powers are some of the coolest in the entire MCU. I cannot wait to see more of her. Hopefully they didn't really kill her off at the end of Multiverse of Madness, because that would be a very lackluster death for an amazing character. Let me know in the comments what your top 5 is, but for me, number 5 is Thor. Chris Hemsworth, one of the greatest comic book castings ever in my opinion. The look, the voice, the mannerisms, he literally is Thor. I cannot imagine anybody else playing this character. I know Thor Love and Thunder left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, but Chris Hemsworth as Thor was still great in that movie, and you can't let that take away from the other greatness of him in the MCU. Number 4, it's Loki. Ever since the first Thor movies and the Avengers being the villain to then kind of going into this hero, anti-hero phase, sacrificing himself, it's all incredible. He was already one of my favorite characters because of everything I just mentioned, but now that we've got the Loki season 1 and 2, he has skyrocketed up this high to number 4. Just like I was saying with Thor, Tom Hiddleston has mastered the character of Loki so perfectly, like he just becomes this character every time he plays him. And the Loki show really let us get a lot more of this character and seeing Tom Hiddleston's full range, and it was just all incredible. Number 4 is Spider-Man. I know a lot of people don't like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but I am not on that side. I love him. Especially in things like Homecoming before he gets too involved with the Avengers, you can really see how great Tom Holland is as a Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Like, he totally nails the mannerisms that I imagine when I read Spider-Man comics. If I was debating the other Spider-Man, I would say Andrew's the better Spider-Man and Tobey's the better Peter, but I think Tom is a perfect mix of the two. We've really just seen the beginning of this character. Now that he's off on his own, nobody knows who he is. I cannot wait to see the next Spider-Man trilogy in the MCU. At number 2 is Steve Rogers himself, Captain America. I think he has the best trilogy in the entire MCU, and it's all because of how good he is as his character. And I love someone that's truly just an amazing good guy. Like, he's not corrupted in any way. He truly just wants to do what's best for everybody. Easily one of the best character arcs in the entire MCU. But come on, we all know number 1 is Tony Stark or Iron Man. He easily has the best character development in the entire MCU, going from a complete selfish asshole in Iron Man 1 to one of the most selfless people in the entire universe in Avengers Endgame. And I mean, he can't not be number 1. The entire MCU does not work if Robert Downey Jr. is not so good as this character. He's incredible in all the solo movies, all the different Captain America, Spider-Man, Avengers movies. He's the best part of them all.